Webinar on EWM and warehouse billing. My name is Sylvie Mark, Business Development Director of Westernacher. Thank you for attending this session for logistics service providers co-organized with SAP. This webinar is about achieving operational excellence with SAP Extended Warehouse Management and Westernacher's solution for fast onboarding and warehouse billing. I will now hand over to our first speaker, Marco Golarza of SAP. Marco?
Thanks Sylvie. Welcome everyone to this excellent webinar about EWM for 3PL warehousing with a focus on onboarding and 3PL billing. My name is Marco Golarza, and I am responsible for the transportation and logistics industry in North America at SAP. For those of you that already know me, you know how passionate I am about our warehousing solution and our ability to meet not only the requirements across many industries, but the ones specific to 3PL. Some of you might be aware that analysts have ranked SAP #1 in the WMS space, and that we are the largest warehousing software solution provider in the world. As a 3PL, I know you must provide warehousing for retailers, pharmaceuticals, consumer product companies, automotives, and so on. And really the beauty of SAP EWM is that we have built that functionality in our system and made it available for our 3PL customers to leverage it as needed. Even in many instances in multi-warehouses where you have to do it for each one of these type of divisions, if you will. And really that coupled with multi-tenant, labor management and activity-based costing, fast onboarding and 3PL billing, that really truly enables the 3PLs to achieve efficiency and profitability while maintaining a happy customer, which is key. In the next 40 minutes, I am proud that our strategic partner Westernacher has prepared this webinar to educate us on our joint solution, and I hope that you will enjoy it and at the end really have a better understanding about it. The agenda is roughly as follows. Christian Schmaus will talk about the burning platform and SAP for logistics service providers and EWM. He too will do an amazing demo of the 3PL billing. Then Christian will take over again and discuss how to achieve lowest TCO with fast onboarding. And then I'll come on again and really talk about and conclude on the value of SAP, the ROI. And then we'll turn it, the mics on to have questions and answers. So without further ado, I would like to turn the presentation over to Westernacher, specifically to Christian Schmaus, managing partner of Westernacher, and a person whom I actually have known for many years, and I know he shares the same passion for warehousing as I do. Christian?
Thank you, Marco, for the welcome and introduction. Yes, my name is Christian Schmaus, and I'm globally responsible at Westernacher for the logistics service provider industry. And as one of the top SAP service partner for this industry, Westernacher so far has worked for over 20 logistics service providers implementing SAP supply chain solutions. And based on our project experience and the interaction we have with logistics service providers, I would like to spend a few minutes on the agenda point number 2. First of all, the challenges the logistics service providers usually face, the solution portfolio that SAP offers for logistics service providers, and then focus on the warehouse processes with SAP Extended Warehouse Management Solution, EWM. Now, I'm sure you will agree if I say that logistics is a complex business. On the one hand, logistics has become a global business with many local and global business partners. For example, if we look at the left-hand side of the picture, starting from manufacturers, for example, in the US, that use more and more logistics service providers to outsource their non-core competences, such as transportation, warehouse services, or value-added services, to global freight forwarders that have to ship the goods globally, involving international and local customs, to the local service provider, for instance, in Europe, who again works for the retailer that sells the US manufactured products to the consumer, who in this case sits. So these global chains really require more and more integrated data sharing and efficient interfaces that ensure efficient supply chain interactions. On the other hand, we have, for instance, the value chain of a contract logistics service provider as an example here, a space for serving their clients like manufacturers or retailers. And usually, from our experience, the LSPs are very cost-driven business unless LSPs understand to design and deliver innovative client-specific services, being able to deliver and to differ from the competitors and charge premium prices. However, this means that the value chain becomes more complex and requires streamlined, integrated process and IT solutions at lowest total cost of ownership. And furthermore, what we clearly observe are several key challenges LSP face, and underpinned by a workshop I recently moderated with 10 CIOs and VPs supply chain management at the EMEA SAP Transport Logistics event in October in Heidelberg. These companies say sort of what makes the perfect LSP. And on the one hand, these CIOs and VPs see the perfect LSP as very innovative, clear service orientation towards the clients, being able adding customer value, for instance, by simply being proactive and sitting in the driver's seat. On the other hand, from the LSP perspective, the perfect LSP runs and controls the business in a very efficient and transparent way, from harmonized sales to providing excellent work at the lowest possible cost. And then at this workshop, we sort of asked the question, what is the moment of truth? What are your key challenges? And the participant in the workshop really saw challenges starting from how do I map and integrate our services in our IT solution and ensure standard operating deliveries and procedures for all my defined services? Or how do I timely know what resources and capacities I need to ensure service levels? Or how do I achieve and maintain operational excellence from warehousing, transportation, and billing at lowest costs? Or even, where do I make money? With what kind of services? And where do I lose money? Where do I have to interact and become better? Now, these just name a few business pains as examples LSPs are faced with, and I'm sure you are familiar with at least one or two of these challenges. And this is where exactly the SAP solution portfolio for logistics service providers comes into place. Now, the portfolio as such is starting from supply chain planning to customer service, to warehouse logistics and warehouse billing, to global trade service, transportation management, event management and RFID, as well as, of course, ERP and business intelligence solutions. So in other words, the SAP solution offers end-to-end integration supply chain solutions from planning to execution. But clearly today's focus in this webinar is warehouse logistics with SAP Extended Warehouse Management, EWM, and the Westernacher Warehouse Billing Solution certified by SAP, which we developed based on the SAP EWM technology. Now let us focus a bit more on the highlights of the SAP EWM solution. Now SAP EWM is clearly SAP's strategic solution for warehouse logistics, and it covers complete offerings resulting from solid continuous investments. I mean, what you see here is really an overview of core processes and supporting functions that enable logistics service providers to efficiently run and control their core businesses. Now, let me start and highlight a few points in the area of inbound processes. Here, EWM offers highlights such as advanced shipping notification processing, automatic rule-based process guidance, or comprehensive quality management. Also, leading-edge warehouse technology integration and integrated import and dangerous goods compliance. Looking one step further at the storage and operation processes, It covers, for example, complete labor management solution. That means planning, execution, and monitoring human capital management integration, or comprehensive slotting rules, or broad set of replenishment strategy, or even value-added service orders, which is important for LSPs, like, for instance, kit to stock or kit to order. And if we look at the outbound processes, we see highlights like wave, labor, and cartonation optimization, full native technology support like mobile radio frequency, pick by voice, RFID, etc., or material flow systems for direct PLC and conveyor system communication, transportation process integration, and comprehensive warehouse performance analytics and operations monitoring. In addition to these process-oriented functions, the EWM solution offers additional scenarios concerning, for instance, cross-processes or supporting functions such as the warehouse monitoring or the graphical warehouse layout. Not only covers EWM the best practice warehouse logistics processes, but it also offers capabilities that simply make the difference. One I would like to highlight is the personalization and the execution. Now this really allows, for instance, role-based menus and offers specific reports. For example, the NetWeaver business client is a rich desktop client that offers unified environment for and a single point of entry to SAP applications. It provides a solution for hosting classical DIMPROs, web DIMPRO applications, DSP pages, portal pages, and other content. Now this results, for example, in single point of entry for all business applications, harmonized user experience, role-based access. It provides personalization and productivity functions and optimized content, especially for SAP Business Suite. Another area I would like to highlight is the capability to specify industry-specific processes, which I think is absolutely vital for the LSP business to be able to operate in different industries and add services very process-oriented. For instance, in the automotive industry, you might have typical processes like production supply, kit to stock, or kit to order. Or for instance, in the chemicals industry, typical processes would be batch management or dangerous goods handling. Or in the consumer products industry, topics you have is catch weight, for instance, batch management, or best before handling. Now this clearly enables LSP to cover multi-industries with very specific needs and surely makes LSPs more competitive using the SAP EWM solution. Now in summary, let me show you the key takeaways on SAP EWM before we go into the live demo of the warehouse billing solution. First of all, we see clear business benefits. That means flexible modeling of warehouses and processes, stock and process transparency, optimization in storage planning and process execution, support of modern services in the warehouse, seamless technology integration, and integration with the overall SAP logistics solution. We definitely have, secondly, high integration with other solutions such as RFID, material flow systems, or SAP ERP, and best-in-class product for all kinds of warehouses and industries. Could also say that with SAP EWM we achieve a high warehouse productivity and efficiency, such as functions like solutions like labor management or the warehouse monitor. And last but not least, high cost savings, for instance, leverage for cost savings in logistics core processes, efficiency improvements, and fast return of investment through optimized logistics warehouse systems. So I hope we just could give you a good overview of the SAP highlights regarding the SAP EWM solution. And the next agenda point now will be the live demo of our warehouse billing solution, which we developed based on EWM technology. But before we do this live demo, let me say a few words to our warehouse billing solution. Now, we have designed the warehouse billing solutions to assist the LSPs overcome these very real challenges based on SAP EWM technology. From our experience, the LSPs have to excel at responding quickly to clients' frequently changing requests, and they often require new services to be performed as soon as possible. For LSPs to seize new opportunities, they need to be able to invoice any new service accurately and efficiently, but doing so can be extremely complex and time-consuming, simply because some tasks done being lost and simply not billed, impacting the all-important order-to-cash process, or having to resort to general assumptions and even guesswork, making it difficult to forecast revenue, or manual tracking, which is both time-consuming, error-prone, increasing back-office workloads. So the ultimate goal of an LSP is to integrate each customer's unique set of circumstances into one cohesive process that tracks and captures costs in an efficient, streamlined manner. So the LSP must be able to invoice swiftly for payment collections, must be able to communicate the billing details, must be able to support multiple customer billing schedules, or ensure accurate billing for the warehouse space and accurate billing for covering the labor costs. And this is exactly where the warehouse billing will help the LSP to overcome these challenges. Just two more comments. The Westernacher Billing Solution is a SAP certified solution, providing a complete set of configurable standard billing collectors for EWM, and an architecture that can be easily enhanced for all scenarios required for your LSP requirements. An important aspect of the billing solution is to accurate bill based on real-time data. So the data is based on all activities carried out in EWM and collected in the EWM system, where this data can be reviewed and analyzed through the standard EWM warehouse monitor. The warehouse billing run can be executed in the ERP system in one easy step. It is then integrated to the standard SD in ERP, so cleverly make use of all the rich, powerful standard ERP pricing functionality, and allowing LSPs to make rates as simple or as complex as they require. And once a debit memo is generated, the standard ERP SD billing process can be executed, picking up the warehouse billing sales document with others to generate invoices for the client. Now, this was just an overview really about of the Westernacher Warehouse Billing Solution. I think now it is time to show a live demo. And for this purpose, I would like to hand over to my colleague, Hito, who will do the live demo. May I kindly ask you to take over, please?
Sure. Thanks, Christian. Okay, so welcome to Westernacher's Warehouse Billing Solution demonstration. I'm now going to walk you through a sample LSP contract for billing of warehouse services and how to generate an itemized invoice. So at the moment we're in SAP ERP, and we have a contract that defines all the services that we require to bill a client. Here we can see that the contract is for a particular LSP client, Westworld, and the contract contains warehouse activities that have been agreed to be charged to the customer. Charges could include overheads such as electricity, or they could be more specifically warehouse activity based, such as all bonded stock that has been receipted, specifically inbound repackaging that has had to have occurred, or storage in hazardous goods areas, or value-added services such as packing for retail displays. Therefore, this allows various costs to be involved in operating the warehouse facilities to be itemized for each client as required. Here we just have a sample set of services, but there's no limit to the number of services that could be billed. So now let's move into our actual billing run transaction. Still in ERP, we have a billing transaction that Westernacher have created that allows you to simulate your billing run. So I'm going to create my billing document, and I'm going to enter in my client that I'm billing for, the period that I wish to bill for, so I'm going to bill for November. Now the billing, sorry for that, the billing period can be completely configurable, and this can be weekly or monthly, so you can support multiple customer billing schedules. So this will bring up the contract that is linked with this client, and I can view all the items that I have on my contract. So here I can enter the fixed charges that need to be charged for the month, so the electricity that's going to be charged in this instance. And then we can select all the EWM services that are based on the warehouse activities that have to be billed for November, and we can simulate what the billing will be. So at this moment in time, this is generated a temporary billing document number that can be saved. Saved with the selection of the items that I would like to save for. So we can save our billing document number. Now this is a temporary billing document number, and that allows us to check back the activities that have occurred in the warehouse. So I can actually click on one of these and link into EWM and see the activities report. So here I can see the billing that has occurred for rental in the month of November. And you can see here the billing document that has been stamped against those activities. So that's an overview of how we could simulate an invoice. What we might want to do is navigate into EWM and see the details of how that has occurred. So in the standard EWM monitor, Westernacher has developed and enhanced the monitor with additional set of nodes for the billing collectors. So here we have all our goods receipts, our goods issues, warehouse tasks, physical inventory documents, loading, warehouse rental, transportation units, value-added service orders, and also indirect labour tasks that have been generated. So these are the standard warehouse billing collectors that are available. So if we look at specifically under the handling unit tasks for our billing for the month of November, we can see all the activities that have been collected. And what we can see here is that some activities have been stamped with our unique billing document number and others have not been. So this ensures that the same items cannot be double charged. Also, these reports can be provided to the client throughout the month, and this can be achieved through providing web access to the EWM monitor, allowing the client to access information on stocks or the billing activities accumulated. This can easily be achieved with the NetWeaver business client. Now let's check exactly how this data has been accumulated for our specific document stamp here. So we have 3 specific items that have been collected. So this is based on actual data, and what we can see here in our example is that we have got inbound tasks that we are collecting for a specific step in a work center. And obviously we only want to look in the month of November again. And we can execute that and see that that is the way the billing collectors have based their data on the actual activities and the warehouse tasks that have been completed in EWM. So that links back to our three items that have been stamped here. And also back in our simulation, we can see that 3 items have been charged for. So now we have seen how the billing data can be accumulated and where it comes from. We can actually base our invoices on actual EWM activities. And various scenarios can be defined with complex selection or exception criteria. Therefore, should a client query an item on an invoice, there's full traceability back to the warehouse activity conducted. So now that we have validated our data, we can create our invoice. So the billing transaction allows you to simulate your invoice. It can also add and remove items from your invoice. It provides you with a unique billing document number that can trace back to EWM transactions. And there's also an option to cancel this billing document number if required. So now we have created our sales order for all the services that are required to be billed. Here we can check that our invoice requests and see the quantity and prices that have been generated. So if we look specifically at the weight of all items that have been goods receipted, we can see that standard sales and distribution condition technique has been used to calculate the price that's involved here. These are totally flexible and can be configured for each different warehouse activity service with various pricing models. In our case, this has been priced at €750 because of the following scaling rules. So the pricing conditions here can be as complex or as simple as required, with additional conditions for discounts, taxes or penalties. The Westernacher billing process standardizes the billing strategy by using proven ERP functionality and providing this pricing customization. So now from here we can generate a billing document. But this can also be done again as a mass run with standard SAP transactions. So we can display our invoice and again check the quantities that have been generated, and we can also view the paperwork that we can produce from the invoice. So here we have an output that can be printed, which shows a detailed itemed invoice. So with standard ERP functionality, an invoice can be printed, emailed or faxed or converted to a PDF, and also is integrated with the SAP Finance module, transferring all the charges to accounting. So this completes our billing cycle demonstration in the system. We have produced an accurate itemized invoice for several warehouse billing services, showing how simple it can be to produce customized client invoices. I hope that you've seen that the Westernacher Billing Solution standardizes the billing process with easy integration to real EWM data, using proven standard ERP functionality and with the flexibility to add services with different pricing models as required. So now I'll hand back over to Christian to summarize.
Thank you very much indeed, Hito, for this very impressive live demo. Thank you. Let me summarize the key takeaways here on the warehouse billing solution. Now, the Westernacher billing solution turns billing of services into precise science, no more arbitrary cost allocations or estimations. And the billing solution process standardizes the billing strategy, yet preserves price customization and flexibility with the ability to tailor in, no problem. So it really gives the LSP the flexibility and the ability to tailor individual contracts, design different pricing and panel the models, or to define scope of activities to be billed, or to define data intervals per customer, or to design and implement new billing objects easily. Anything that leaves traces in the warehouse system can be captured and billed. So it is a flexible framework which can be tailored to your needs. It's also an SAP certified solution that simply can improve efficiency, customer satisfaction, and ultimately profitability. Another success factors to gain and maintain operational excellence in the logistics service provider industry is being able to onboard new warehouses and customers into the IT solution as fast and efficient as possible. And this is where I would like to focus now during the next agenda point, lowest TCO with Westernacher onboarding solution for LSPs. Now the core question is, why does fast onboarding of new warehouses and clients actually matter? Well, the sooner and more efficiently an LSP onboards new warehouses in the SAP EWM solution and its clients on SAP EWM, the greater the likelihood is to win the service contracts, the more flexible your operations will be with new warehouses and clients, and the more profitable the LSPs will work. However, the onboarding process should follow a few key principles. First of all, practically proven onboarding templates approach for all types of warehouses and logistic services, and that the service partner actually is capable of rolling out these template approach fast and efficiently, and also a multi-customer warehouse management system with SAP EWM that allows an onboarding template approach. And this is exactly where the Westernacher so-called ready-to-run components for logistic service providers come into place. Now, the whole idea is that Westernacher offer 4 platforms with various templates as base for designing the services an LSP offers. This is the so-called service design, or the type of warehouse an LSP runs. That's the warehouse design platform, or the type of data migration an LSP has to execute. That's the migration design platform, and the customer system interface that is necessary for seamless integration, the so-called interface or customer system interface platform. Now, each template on this platform contains menu-driven processes to choose from as base for designing the initial setup, and which is again the base for a fast and efficient rollout. Now, in order to make it a bit clearer, let me illustrate it with an example on the service design platform. Now, with the Westernacher LSP service platform, the contracted services, for example, starting from inbound and goods receipt to distribution outbound or production logistics or business partners, are simply bundled for each LSP customer, resulting in LSP customer contracted services as base for delivering standard operating procedures and billing. Now let me show you an example to make it a little bit clearer. For instance, here what you see for the LSP customer 11000, so-called test customer in test city, we define that from our warehouse in Helsinki, we cover the processes quality check goods receipt and value-added services goods receipt, and execute it with pick and pack with predefined items categories in EWM. And the result is the defined inbound delivery process for our customer in the Helsinki warehouse. This template is then the base for all the rollout and go lives. So what are your benefits of the Westernacher ready-to-run components for logistics service providers? Number one, fast and efficient warehouse onboarding in SAP EWM. And here we talk about in 1 to 4 weeks, depending on warehouse complexity. Also fast and efficient LSP customer onboarding in SAP EWM. Here we talk about in hours for a simple LSP operation, or only in 1 to 3 days for typical LSP customers. And also a template approach that makes it easy to use and ensures a standardized approach on a global basis. Well, I hope we could give you a good overview of SAP solutions for logistics service providers, focusing on warehouse logistics with SAP EWM and the Westernacher Warehouse Billing, and including the Westernacher's ready-to-run components for fast and efficient warehouse and LSP client onboarding. At this point of time, I would like to hand over to SAP Marco, coming to the conclusion why SAP EWM and return on investment. So Marco, would you kindly take over?
Yes, thank you, Christian. And also, Hitu, thank you very much for that great demo. So Christian, if you could advance to the next slide. Excellent. I think it's obvious as we started, Christian really positioned, what SAP's EWM offering for logistics service provider is all about. But he also positioned the add-ons that Westernacher brings together to make it a more rounded, more complete solution. And this really is the goal of this slide that I have in here, which is extremely important. SAP is a very, very large company that really tries to provide solutions for all of our different industries. But in addition to that, it is key that we have such an important ecosystem. And in our industry, we have some strategic partners, and in this case, Westernacher is a strategic partner of ours. And what we do is we co-innovate with them. So Christian talked about that they have the 3PL billing solution as a certified solution. And what is important about this is that this is a solution that has been created working with SAP to make sure that it meets all of the requirements, almost like if it was created by SAP. So it provides our customers the ability to continue to upgrade, to have the support, and all of those things that are important and our customers already know about SAP. So when we look at this, the important thing is that we come together with a deep understanding of the requirements of the customers. As he mentioned, many different customers, not only from the, that we bring the expertise from the SAP side, but they also bring the expertise from the Westernacher side. We co-innovate together and we create a solution to bring to our customers together. So that is extremely important. Next slide, please. So when we look at all of this, when we looked at what is the return on the investment, the value proposition of our solution, I kind of break it down into separate areas that I'd like to highlight to you. One thing is the agility, affordability, and innovation. So it's definitely the ability to bring all of these things together to you as our LSP customer to meet the demands of your customers today and the demands of your customers tomorrow. I think it was very clear by Hitu during her presentation and her demo how it's extremely easy to add into a contract and into the EWM maybe the ability to charge for additional billing service. She had an example of a bonded warehouse goods receipt, but maybe if there was to be something as a value-added services, within the bonded warehouse or an additional type of value-added services that I want to have a different charge per unit, is extremely easy to do. Also, I'm sure you guys noticed that if I were to want to change those rates, it's very easy to do, and I don't even have to touch the EWM for that, because the EWM is doing all of the charge calculation, all of the metrics calculation, and then in the SDs, the sales and distribution billing, I could put a future date when the price per unit or whatever metric I have would change. So that's the agility and the innovation that this brings. Then the precision, flexibility, and speed is really going into what Christian is talking about the onboarding. As a logistics service provider, you have to be able to meet those demands of the customers quickly, be flexible about, and to be able to differentiate yourself from other logistics service providers. From a business value, the whole idea is for you to become a best run 3PL provider. And I think that when we put all of these things together, all of the functionality from the EWM and all of the functionality that Westernacher and the expertise that they bring together, it really presents and it makes sense as a business value. And then from a choice point of view, it's absolutely the ability to enable the 3PLs to achieve the sustainability that you need over the long run. This is an industry that continues to change as things change. You know, a few years ago, a lot of our customers were shipping CDs, music CDs. Today, they're doing something totally different, adapting to the changes on the market, but they continue to use SAP because SAP allows them to do that. Ultimately, I also want to make sure that you see this as a partner. You see SAP and Westernacher as a partner. We're not just a software supplier. We're really a partner, a business partner, and we're here for you. Next slide, please. And I'd like to conclude really quickly to go into the questions and answer, but it's really about four things. It's about being able to provide a comprehensive solution for logistics service providers in all of the aspects of the organization. So SAP, today we're talking about EWM, but it's really to be able to provide a solution for everything soup to nuts. And with that, to provide a lower total cost of ownership with the one platform, but at the same time, if we need to connect with something else, such as the material flow system or whatever it might be, we have those open connections. It's the lowest risk solution. There are some warehouse companies out there that are being acquired or are acquiring other ones. There's a lot of uncertainty with some of these niche vendors, and with SAP, you have the 42 years of a proven company that it continues to grow and it continues to adapt to the needs of the market. And again, that brings me to the last one, proven solution. It really is. We have many customers in the industry and continue to grow rapidly to more and more customers. And don't forget that as a logistics service provider, your customers are also our customers. With that, I'll conclude, and I think I'll turn it over to Sylvie for the question and answer session.